Have you ever been to Niagara Falls? It's pretty big, and it's wicked old too. Like 10,000 years old or something like that. Since it's been around for so long, you know people have made stories about where the falls came from. The Iroquois were probably the most notable group of people who lived in that region who had a story, and that's the story we're going to learn today. Today's video is about Lelawala, the Lady of the Mist. Before we begin, you should keep in mind there were multiple nations within the Iroquois language group, and each nation likely had their own variations of the story you're about to hear. So the story you might know may be slightly different from another story, or the version I'm about to tell you. Folklore is like that sometimes, we just gotta deal with it. Anyway, the story begins with a young woman named Lelawala. The poor girl is depressed after the loss of her husband. Really depressed. And she doesn't want to feel the pain anymore. So she gets in a canoe and goes down the river towards the falls. As she gets closer to the falls though, she realizes she wants to live, and she tries paddling against the current, but it's too late now, and she falls over. Thankfully though, she is saved by the god of thunder, Hino. Hino brought Lelawala back with him to his home behind the falls, and she ended up marrying his son, and the two of them had a child together. This child looked up to his grandfather, and he followed him around, learning the ways of the thunder god. A long time would pass, and Lelawala, despite loving her new family, did miss her old family and friends, and she wanted to return home. She went to Hino to ask permission to return home, and Hino said, "Oh, what a coincidence! There's actually a giant snake on its way to poison your people right now." Lelawala panicked and begged Hino to stop the snake, and he said he would, but he wanted her to warn her people first. Lelawala was granted permission to leave the falls. She left the falls and she went to warn her people of the incoming snake. Everybody took heed of her warning and abandoned the village. Lelawala could not go with them though, as she had to be with her son and her husband. Eventually, the snake did arrive at the village and was enraged to learn that nobody was there. The snake was furious and tried going upstream to retrace its steps, thinking it might have passed it along the way. Hino heard the snake's hiss and hurled a thunderbolt at it, frying the snake instantly. The snake's corpse flowed down the river until it was caught on a rock and formed an iconic U shape that the falls are known for today. Well, that's the story of how Niagara Falls got its shape. Researching for this video is interesting because there's a boat tour around the falls called the Maiden of the Mist, which is also the same name of this story, obviously. Also, I don't know how recent this is, but apparently the tour claims that Lelawala was sacrificed to Hino in the original story. But there's very little evidence of human sacrifice in Iroquois culture. So I don't think that's an actual authentic part of the Native American story, and might be an addition by Americans or Canadians later on. Again, don't know how recent it is, hopefully they've corrected themselves. Anyway, thank you for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more. I have a Discord where I share memes, and a coffee where you can tip me if you think I should get paid. And until next time, have a good one.